Black's Fox Camp would have been one of the early settlements here. And then you see here the Cumberland River, which is probably why Nashville became such a more popular city and became capital, because of imports and exports that were able to travel that river. So you come on down here and it's just completely unexplored to a large degree. I'm trying to pick out where I grew up, but it's hard to say. And this is going to be the Tennessee River. Knoxville area. It's getting mountainous over here. No, but none of this was explored. I would have grown up somewhere right in here, Huntland, Tennessee, close to the Alabama state line. And these maps may not be exactly accurate, but and I'm looking for a year here. But this is apparently after Godspeed's Aboriginal map of Tennessee. But they had a pretty good idea of the Smoky Mountain Range. Doesn't seem quite accurate though. This would have been an early press. For what purpose, I'm not sure. What was a printing press? It looks as though it's a printing press. You see the rollers there and the ink that's still on it. Very interesting. And there's some original uniforms. This is interesting to me too. This was a meat box, and it's a hollowed out log, handmade meat curing box used by one of the very early pioneer families in Middle Tennessee. And all your meat was cured with salt, which probably wasn't real healthy, but I do love country ham. And here we have Stewart Air Force Base. And this is interest. Second sighting of the Declaration of Independence, Citizens Central Bank, July 1976. I don't know if that's a remake or what. This again is interesting. There's no caption, but I can tell you that this is Middle Tennessee State University, because that's the main campus building that still stands. But you can see I can get around without the light glare, how there was nothing else around. No, I'm sorry. This is the VA hospital in 1950. So this would have been the Veterans Hospital, and I know where that is now. And quite different than that now. Okay, this is MTSU, Middle Tennessee State University in the 1950s, and again I'm getting a glare, but trying to get past that. And then all around it, you know, you had farmland. focus, but this is a glassed image. You can see here they were just building some of this under construction. Very interesting. Changed my batteries out there. Long day. This is some type of press. It would have been a hand press. It's got a long leverage to it. Again, some other type of press. You can see the teeth on there, and probably was manufactured in some part. And even broom making technology was an important part of the past. And here we have a broom tearing machine where you would make brooms. And it looks like it was foot powered. There's some pedals down there that probably turn slowly. Some other unique old items. And of course we all know what this is. Washboard and then a wringer. You run your clothing through there after you use the washboard and rinsed them. You would wring them out with that and they would drop in to a bucket there. Lard paddle. And there you have another couple other wringing machines back there. And this was probably some kind of early washing machine as well. Got a lot of tools and implements on the wall. And some of them are very obvious. And again, a lot of these machines, I couldn't tell you what they are. You may know more about it than I do. This was a thresher. They've got a question mark on that. They're not sure what that is either. This is very interesting to me though, and this would have been one of the very first production printing presses. Linotype. And this machine, I'm sure, was way ahead of its time. And you've got an actual keyboard here. And then electric work light there. Linotype. And then some old worn out saddles. And this is interesting. This is a one-cylinder motor, and these wheels on the back were probably weighted as balancers and also used to pull and operate other machinery. And it looks like the remnants of an old looming device. Pieces and parts of, and we've probably all seen this at one time or another. It's sitting on looks like a sewing machine table, but old antique typewriter. I actually had a teacher who used one of those and preferred that method as well. And a lot of horse harnessing devices and that. I'm not sure what that is. And you move over on the wall here, and you've got all types of sickles and again, some of this machinery, I just don't know what it is. Boy, that would have been an old typewriter, but that's what that is. A small printing press. That may not be what that is. And there's a big spinning wheel. And here you get into a lot of your plows and gardening tools. And I remember these. My grandmother had one of these. She actually preferred the cut with hers. It made a much better cut than a modern lawnmower, she would say. I don't know about that. And looks like you've got some different types of wheels and motors here. There's different tools, different natures. The cream separator. And then you had your own grinding stones. These were very important. And, sometimes I kind of wish I had one of those now. And old antique wheelbarrows. These would have been heavy to use, but these were how you would fluff and dry your hay. Grain cradles is what they are. And back here, these would have been kind of fuel heater, I think. Looks like some kind of photograph machine. And here is a corn sheller. People were a lot more self-reliant, and these things were definitely necessary. Well, this is an unfortunate part of history, but it's truly documented here. The Ku Klux Klan originated in Pulaski, Tennessee, and if my understanding is correct, they still march there today. Oakland's Mansion, we may do a tour on that in the future. That's kind of an interesting story. And then you've got some actual original cannonballs there. It's like a little sewing machine. This stuff is interesting to me. These would have been tools and different things carried. You've got your gunpowder patches hollowed from a horn. And you've got your dies for shoemakers for different sizes. And cigar molds is what those are. You can read that. It's not going to focus. Oh well. And what you see here, this it's kind of interesting to me too. These were vials. I don't think they sampled much blood. They didn't know a lot about it back then, but those were probably for carrying different types of drugs, opiates, whatnot. And then also, there's a saddlebag here. Yep. Saddlebag, it's a med case. here, they've actually even got some of the old containers that carried an assortment of drugs. Some of the old drugs are still in there. And herbs. But in that case there, I'm sure they had the cure-all at the time, the opiates and different things. Probably would have been a medic bag. Would have been something similar to this in a war. That's very interesting to me. And these are old bonds. You can see that. And again, these must have been shoehorns or something there. And this, I'm guessing, or this was a candle maker. You poured, you put your wick to the bottom and then poured your hot wax in. I'm just guessing. This is neat. Little model of an old house. Who knows, maybe they drew these up as plans or built these as low-scale plans for houses. I don't really see anything on that. This was called a cotton comb. And interestingly, this is the last bale of cotton baled in Rutherford County, Tennessee. And it's got a hornet's nest on top of it. You know, I always find these interesting. That was probably quite a nice coach back in the 1800s. Kept in nice condition. And here are a couple more. There's a two-wheel coach. And then a more conservative coach, horse-drawn buggy. This is interesting here. How long do you think waffles have been around? Well, these are old waffle irons. You can see, you know, one of those would be handy today if it didn't weigh so much in a motorhome or something. And there's an example of an old dough bowl. But, you know, I've seen those in my day.